Is the Frozen Arrow really deserving of an epic equipment title? In today's video, we're going to go over the strengths and weaknesses of the Frozen Arrow, compare it to all the other Archer Queen equipment, and hopefully by the end, you know what equipment to bring with each attack strategy. I'll come out and say it. I was wrong about the Frozen Arrow. In the first video I did, I don't think I said it explicitly, but my expectations of this hero equipment is that it would be used almost default, almost in every single army comp. Not as much as the Invis Vial, but basically nearly every other attack with the Invis Vial. Now, I did not think it was better than the Giant Gauntlet. The Giant Gauntlet is insane and a properly powerful epic equipment, but I thought it would be somewhat close and earn the title of its own epic equipment. But as a lot of you put in the comments of that video, you didn't think it was going to be as strong. Now, initially this surprised me, but having played with this for nearly a week now, I can kind of see where you're all coming from. So in this video, we're going to go over the pros of the Frozen Arrow, the cons of it, and then at the end, we're going to go over each hero equipment for the Queen, compare it, and talk about which is better for each strat. Because whilst a lot of you are right that the Frozen Arrow might not be as strong as we thought it would be, it's still better than a lot of the other hero equipment. But you can see the obvious weakness right there. Queen dies through ability because unlike the Archer Puppet, you get no health on recovery. And the health on recovery is insane. Have a look at this here. We fast forwarded to the end of this battle. There is 5 buildings up. If my Queen lives through ability, which she would have had she had the Archer Puppet, because it was one mortar shot that killed her, then I triple this, because the Queen clears this, and the Root Riders are clearly capable of clearing the rest. But because I have to look away from my Queen for 1 second to start the Root Riders, we fail this attack. I believe this attack here is the perfect showcase of the Frozen Arrow. So we're going to come in, Queen Charge all the heroes without using a rage spell, and I'm going to use one Headhunter to do it, which is kind of crazy to think about. One Headhunter to get rid of technically 4 defensive heroes. But then you can also see further in the base, if I can keep the Queen alive, my goal is to go into the single Inferno comp here. If I can get my Queen in there and the Frozen Arrow does work, this base is wrecked. Now, worth noting, I'm not full try-harding this attack. We've already perfect warred these guys. I just wanted to attack the top base and get the most wars possible. Now, what have I learned about the Frozen Arrow in the last couple of days? One, if you use it well, it's insane. So if it's in a controlled environment, like you saw this outside comp here, and you're looking after your Queen well, it's insane. It elevates your Queen charges to the next level. But as soon as you lose control, it can very easily go from great to horrific, and that is a problem. So I would only, at this stage, I'm only recommending it if you're an advanced Queen Charge player. If you're an average Queen Charge player, kind of like myself, it might be best to use the Archer Puppet, because look at this. I was trying to prove how good the Frozen Arrow is by not freezing the defensive single Inferno, but then one bad sweeper shot and the attack is over. I'm sure you all recognize this teaser style of base. So I'm coming in with my level 20 Frozen Arrow. Yeah, I put a lot of ores into my Frozen Arrow. It's been level 20 in every attack of this video as well, worth noting. So doing a great job here, and we're going to slow down to half speed. Now, I don't know how well you guys can hear the in-game noise, but you can see at the bottom, I'm about to pop my Warden ability. Now, my Queen has been full health this entire battle. I look at my Warden, I come back to my Queen immediately, put a Rage and Invis down, I manually pop the ability, and she still dies through the ability. I mean, you just have to pop it so much earlier. And the reason we're continuing with this attack is because I want to show you the other epic equipment in the game, which is the King. So King ability goes off here. Now, I'm taking advantage of the glitch, but it's still insane. Look at this. Crushes through the entire back end of the base. I mean, that's what an epic equipment is. An epic equipment, no matter what the attack, should always get value. That's what I've interpreted it from the Giant Gauntlet. But with the Queen, that's just not the case. In fact, I think the Invisibility Vial should just be given epic status and then have the Frozen Arrow as a common equipment, right? Because the Invisibility Vial is epic. It gives an extra life to your Queen every single attack. That really should be the epic one. And yeah, have the frozen arrow as more common, because it is strong, it is good, but it's not epic, and I'll prove it right here. We've got the king, and he's not going to have the invincibility glitch here. This is just the normal king ability versus the normal queen ability you see on the right. Still having to use a rage for the queen charge because the queen's not targeting any defenses. Have to use the invis as well. And then the king ability is going off, crushing the entire core of the base. I'd like to see the queen ability do that. I mean, took down everything. Going to get the royal champion as well. I mean, that's epic. Now that we've spent ample time critiquing the frozen arrow, let's talk about what equipment you should take on your archer queen. I know the frozen arrow is not what we were expecting, but that doesn't mean it's still not stronger than the other alternatives. So we're going to start with the archer puppet, and this, yes, the summoned archers are generally terrible. They're a bit better because single infernos are meta at the moment, but generally are terrible. But this is arguably the best thing of all of the archer queen equipment aside from the invisibility vial. The 440 health recovery is insane. Also worth noting, it's got the highest DPS increase of all the archer queen equipment. We'll jump out. Let's jump into the healer puppet. Now, I know a lot of you love this equipment, and that's because the healers are really nice to have. But yet again, it has the same problem that the frozen arrow does. No extra health on recovery. Yes, it does have an extra 1,000 hit points, but that doesn't mean it's more or less likely to die through ability. You're still quite likely to die through ability without the health on recovery. Yes, you technically have 35 extra health per second to play with, but in the grand scheme of things, at Town Hall 16 in particular, that is nothing. So worth noting that. Nice having the healers though. We'll talk about which strategies you should use the healer puppet with later. And the giant arrow. I know a lot of you said that you use this, and this was kind of interesting for me, particularly with queen charges. Now, the DPS is nice. It's the same DPS as the frozen arrow, but a lot of you love it for this, and I'm here to disagree with this being that strong. 1950 does sound a lot, but to put it in perspective, 1950 damage isn't enough to take out a Town Hall 13 cannon. Yes, it will weaken it, but particularly at Town Hall 14 to 16, there are builder huts all over the map. A lot of the major targets you hit will just get healed up anyway. Now, if you have a specific purpose for the giant arrow, as we'll talk about in what strategies you should use it for in a minute, then it's worth using. Otherwise, I think this is the weakest archer queen equipment. Then we have the frozen arrow. Same DPS as you saw before, but then you've got the 60% slowdown. Now, you don't get any extra hit points with the frozen arrow, but the damage mitigated by the frozen arrow passive ability will probably end up being pretty similar to the total amount of extra hit points you would have got with the other equipment. So really, those at minimum do cancel out. So if we jump out of this, honestly, it's up to you. But if I say I'm doing a queen charge and I'm new to queen charge, this right here is what I would take, the archer puppet. Safe, and particularly in this meta where tripling is easy, why wouldn't you use the archer puppet instead of the frozen arrow? You don't need the frozen arrow to triple at this point. Now in the future, when new defense level comes, you might have to use the frozen arrow because queen charging will be more difficult. But for now, this is definitely the best. And if you're a bit better at queen charge, definitely better than me, then take the frozen arrow. If you're doing a smash attack, I would recommend this because the healers are nice to have, especially if your queen's not taking any direct damage. Yes, the healers are vulnerable in the core of the base, but at worst, the healers will take some air traps off your healers already, because you should be taking healers with your smash. Now, if you're doing a spam army, I'd still bring, say, Root Riders and Valks. I'd still probably bring the healer puppet, but the frozen arrow and the archer puppet is both welcome. If you're doing an air spam attack, I would bring the healer puppet as well, because your queen's doing a lap of the base. Those healers are really nice at getting a queen walk and allowing her to get more value. And the only reason I would ever use this giant arrow is if I'm using it to get rid of 2 sweepers or activate an invis tower. Basically, if you have an express purpose for it. And that's it for the video. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much at the end, but let me know in the comments section your experience with the frozen arrow. Do you think it's strong? Do you agree which archer queen equipment you should use for each strategy that I kind of detailed at the end there? I know I was really excited for the Frozen Arrow. It's a bit of a letdown, but I think the biggest thing I've learnt is be more willing to use the Queen ability early. You don't need to save it at the last possible second. Use it earlier and you will reap the benefits of it, and it will be worth using in your army comp.